Step right up. Climb aboard. The caravan is waiting.
Back before Moon. He didn't remember falling asleep, only the sound of rain and the cold. So cold. When he opened his eyes, the cabin was dark. Dust floated in the pale blue light that slipped through a crack in the boarded-up window. The fire had long since died. The air smelled like damp wood and something faintly metallic. He sat up slowly, his shirt clinging to his chest with sweat. The bed beneath him creaked like it might collapse under the weight of the moment. His breath puffed into the cold and drifted through the room like a ghost. Beside the bed sat an old oil lantern, unlit, and a small leather-bound notebook. The notebook lay open to a single page. 2 lines were scrawled across it in jagged pencil. Back before. Moon. Sally. May. Loves you. He stared at the words for a long time.
Sally May.
His voice sounded distant and unfamiliar, like the name itself, soft, trembling on the parchment, important somehow, precious but forgotten. The room was small. The stone fireplace, 1 chair, a narrow table, no clocks, no phone, no sign of how he'd gotten there, just the steady creak of the old wood and the wind sighing through the eaves. He didn't know his name. What he did know was that he was being watched, not from the cabin, from outside, somewhere beyond the trees. He stood moving stiffly. The floor was uneven beneath his bare feet. His boots sat by the door, crusted in dried mud. He pulled them on. Tie them tight, he thought. That was important. Why? He didn't know. He stepped out into the night. The forest was impossibly still. Towering black pines surrounded the clearing, their trunks lined like silent sentries. The moon hung low and wide above the trees, too big, too bright, glowing with a cold, unwavering stare. There was a trail. It led from the edge of the clearing and disappeared into the trees. It looked like it had been used often. Flattened grass, crushed twigs, faint footprints in the dirt. His footprints. He took a step forward, then another. He didn't know why, but he felt it deep in his bones. He had to go. Something was calling him, pulling him like the moon pulls the tide. Something in the woods. He didn't know what it was. He didn't even know if he wanted to find it. But he couldn't stay in the cabin. Not yet. As he moved into the forest, the trees seemed to lean in, their branches groaning gently overhead. He glanced up once more. The moon still watched from above. But maybe, just maybe, it was a little dimmer than before. The trail grew narrower. The trees began to press in, not just crowding, leaning, tilting toward him, their branches like arms, their bark grooved like wrinkled skin. In the moonlight, they glistened. The stillness had teeth now. He kept moving, but it felt wrong. The forest didn't watch him. It waited for him. A sound came from ahead. Not an animal. Not a voice. A whisper.
Sally May.
He froze. It had come from the trees, not around him, inside them. Like the wood itself had spoken. Like the bark had learned her name and was trying it out. He turned. The trail behind him was gone, swallowed. And then he saw the silhouette. A man standing just beyond the next tree line. Except, no, the shape was wrong. The limbs were too long, the head too still. It twitched once, violently, like a puppet yanked by a broken string. Then again, then nothing. The man took a step back into the dark. He followed. He didn't want to. Every cell in his body screamed, "Stop!" But his legs moved anyway. The trees thinned, and ahead, the flickering light returned. No longer a glow, but a strobe. On, off, harsh, surgical white. He staggered into a clearing. The light came from nowhere, just flashes between the trees. His ears rang, and in the light, for a split second, he saw something on all fours, scuttling through the underbrush, too fast to see clearly, too fast to be human, then gone. He turned. A door, standing alone. Wood, white paint peeling, brass handle dulled with time. And now, it was open. Inside, a hospital room, blurred, moving like water. He stepped closer. Someone lay in the bed. Him. Sally May stood over the body, face gaunt, hair streaked with gray, one trembling hand covering her mouth. A machine beside the bed let out a long, flat tone. He gasped, and the room blinked out. Gone. Just the door, shut, no light behind it, and carved into the wood where none of it had been before, were the words, "You've seen this before." He ran. Didn't remember his legs moving, just the blood pounding in his head, the trees racing by, the light gone, the wind screaming. He burst through the clearing. The cabin was there, waiting like it always had. He threw the door open and slammed it behind him. Dark, cold, still. The notebook sat on the bed, open. But now the message had changed. Back, before. Moon. Sally May loves you. She won't wait forever. He stared, heart thundering. Then, another line appeared, as if the pencil were writing itself. "We see you." He backed away from the bed. Outside, something knocked on the door. Once. Twice. Then silence. He woke to the sound of water. Not rain, not wind. Waves. Lapping softly. He sat up. The fire was dead, the lantern cold, the notebook closed now, silent. Outside, the moon was gone. He stepped onto the porch, and where the forest once stood, a lake, endless, still, reflecting nothing but stars. It hadn't been there before. He didn't question it. He walked to the shore, boots crunching on wet stones. The surface was glass. The trees had vanished entirely. Even the sky looked wrong now, like it had been painted on. And then, a sound. A soft, warbling tune. A lullaby. Familiar. Off-key. His breath caught. It was her voice. Sally May, singing the song she used to hum at bedtime. Gentle, sweet, woven with pain. He turned. Across the water, in the moonless dark, a figure stood. Sally May. Older, shoulders slumped, eyes hollow. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Just silence. And then, a child's laughter. Behind him, he spun, heart hammering. A small wooden boat sat at the shore. It hadn't been there a moment ago. Inside it, two tiny figures, sitting still. A girl with blonde curls, a boy clutching a stuffed bear. They were soaking wet, dripping, smiling. Their eyes were open, but they weren't right. They were glassy, dead. The girl raised her hand and pointed to the water. He looked and saw the car, submerged, twisted, crushed like a tin can under black glass, headlights flickering weakly beneath the surface. Inside, he saw his own hand on the steering wheel, blood on his temple. The girl's hand pressed to the window. Then, impact noise in his head. Glass shattering, water rushing in, screams, then silence. He fell to his knees.
I'm sorry.
He whispered,
I'm sorry,
but he couldn't remember what came next. The lake began to boil. The water rose up in slow motion, like hands reaching to pull him under. Cold fingers wrapping around his boots, then his legs. He didn't resist. He let it take him. As he slipped beneath the surface, he opened his eyes. A hospital room, dim, sterile, machines blinking. Sally May sat beside the bed, older now, wrinkled. Her hands shook as she held his.
Please,
She whispered.
come back.
Tears streamed down her cheeks, but his eyes didn't move. The heart monitor whined. Long, flat, darkness. Then, the cabin, the notebook, the wind outside. The fire was out. And from somewhere the sound of water, once again. He blinked, looked down. The notebook lay open. The page read, "Back, before, moon. Sally May loves you. You left them. They're waiting. This is your punishment." He closed his eyes, and then a final whisper. He didn't remember falling asleep, only the sound of rain and the cold. So cold.
Thanks for watching. I hope you were scared to death. If your heart's still beating, like and share. And if you dare, subscribe for more delicious horror. We'll be waiting, right here in the dark.